Hello, everyone.
Hi. Okay.
No,
Wait, is it my
keep
might as well
Chaplin
take
there.
it?
No one wants to see you,
Okay.
Doug.
Okay. Sorry. There you go. There you go.
I'm just kidding.
His fur is a darker white than mine, so makes sense.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope y'all are having a good middle of the week. We are here chatting once again with the one, the only video game nerd. No, just kidding.
Yes!
It's Doug. It's chatting with Doug. Anyway, I see we are in a level 3 hype train. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate that. Appreciate you all. So let's hop into the rules so that we can hop into some of these questions that you are trying to ask Doug here. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages since that is some real world money spent. If we have time towards the end of stream, sometimes we do have a chance to read the highlighted messages, but please do not highlight your message now because I will not be able to scroll back up and check it out now. So maybe wait till the end of stream when we're done with bit messages before you start highlighting. Please do not repeat yourself over and over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do it. That kind of applies to bits as well. We do have a list. There's no need to repeat, but we do get behind. Sometimes up to like 45 minutes to an hour behind. So please be patient and we will get to it. It's very rare things get missed. Please, no spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest episodes of, or movies or whatever. So, you know, don't spoil things like Vox Machina or Bad Batch or, I don't know, there's lots of things out there.
The newest Velma episodes.
The newest Velma episodes. Yes, yes, yes. Because everyone is clamoring for that. Mm-hmm. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I'm going to have to read it, and then the more likely it is that we are going to lose the point, and then I don't have time to repeat it. So, the shorter, the better. Maybe check to make sure someone else hasn't already asked the question that you have asked. We just feel bad if you're like the 4th person today to ask us what next week's NC is, and Doug has to just basically say like, we answered all that already. You know, we just feel bad. So maybe just check to see if someone else hasn't answered it. Or asked it, rather. And I think...
Or answered it, too, honestly.
Right, or answered it. See if Doug answered it. I think that is it.
I think we're good.
Great. Fantastic. Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, how y'all doing?
Good, thank you so much. Good.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello there. Na 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 Doug man and Heather, how you two doing?
Good, but I believe it's Doug man. No, that's not how it goes.
I just assumed it was a Batman compilation today that it was.
Yes.
For Batman. CM Sully, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you both been staying safe in this crazy weather? If you got the snowstorm,
we got a little bit. It wasn't that bad. It was. I really lucked out because I actually do like shoveling snow. I don't have a snow blower. Actually, my dad gave me his old one because he got a new one. I'm just like, and I took it over and I'm just like, I never use this because I legit like the work. If it's going to take time out of my day, I might as well get a workout out of it. But this one was the easiest because it was starting to melt. I'm like, oh no, slush snow is the worst.
Yeah.
But this one, like I got out just in time because I could just kind of push it and all the snow went with it.
Nice.
Like on every single push, I was just like, oh my God, okay. So I got done in like, I don't even know, like 20 minutes, not even.
Nice.
Like super quick.
That's awesome. That's really cool, Doug. Spike, thank you for those 5 gifted subs. We appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alex the Animator, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, do you think you could please stop having adult women play kid boy characters in your videos? That works better with voice acting, not physical performance. Instead, you should have either adult men like you play the kid boy characters or just get some actual kid boys to play those parts.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I do a kid's voice in the review we just shot, so I think that's about it. Most kids don't have facial hair. That's like the one thing that's just a hint past the distracting for that. But yeah, no, I should know better. Shame on me.
General Kenobi, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, today's new NC was the best thing I have ever seen in my life. Nothing will overtop it. I can die happy now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for me to do all the Batman movies, just completely new opinions and everything. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Having watched your Charlie's Angels review, the movie seems like a female version of The Pest, a constant barrage of racially insensitive cosplay.
I will say, I think The Pest was going out of its way to be offensive. What I think almost makes Charlie's Angels a little funnier is that I think it stumbled into all that. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people in the comments grew up with it and really liked it and still have a soft spot for it. So, okay. I just don't think I'm a Charlie's Angels fan.
Sorry. DCL Coda, thank you for the 100 bits. We interrupt this Twitch stream to bring Doug a special message from James Cameron. Avatar: The Way of Water. It was nominated for Best Picture, and you can never change that. We now return to your regularly scheduled stream.
Well, darn. I guess I was wrong. I guess it's brilliant. No bad movie's ever been nominated for Best Picture at all. Like, the first Avatar.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. I've kind of been on a How to Train Your Dragon kick lately. One of my favorite things about it is the score. Test Drive and Romantic Flight are absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't listened to them in a while, just listen to it again and get swept away by the awe and wonder.
I do remember the music being really good. I haven't heard it in a while, though. Maybe I should. Good recommendation.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, thoughts on the recent Academy Award nominations announced yesterday? I was bad. I didn't look at them yet. I meant to. I made a mental note, and I was like, oh, people are probably going to be asking about that, and then I didn't.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's one or two. I was just talking to Heather a little bit. There's like one or two little surprises, but not many. Most of the ones that I kind of thought would be on there were on there. The only one that wasn't, I thought was a little surprising, was the menu not having anything. If I'm right, maybe it had best score or something. I don't know, but Ray Fiennes didn't get a nomination. I don't think it got best screenplay. I could be wrong. Maybe I misread it, but I should look that up before I throw that out into the universe. But yeah, that was the one thing I was legit kind of surprised that I didn't see on there. But everything else, like Brendan Fraser and stuff like that, being on there, everything, everywhere, all at once, being on there and stuff like that, all of that. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought would be on there. But it's good, they're good movies.
Honest Reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Sup, Doug and Heather. So the second of the 3 Owl House episodes for season 3 aired last Saturday, which means the final episode should be airing sometime this spring. Can't wait for you to start watching it after.
Okay, yeah, I think I haven't started the Disney shows yet. I'm probably gonna start them this week. I'll probably do that Hyper Monkey shit, whatever it was, show, and then yeah, I do want to do Owl House because I want to, do it as it wraps up, because it sounds like this is the year it's finally wrapping up. So yeah, I'll get around to it, man. It's everywhere. I see people talk about it and everything. I'm kind of trying to avoid spoilers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited to watch it though.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on Cheers, Frasier, and King of Queens?
Love Frasier, even though it did get a little less as it went on. But I mean, those first, 3 or 4 seasons, I think, are so good. Cheers I like, but it never grabbed me like it did a lot of other people for some reason. It is a good show, but for some reason it didn't have the magic that it had on a lot of other people. I've only seen a little bit of Kings of Queens. I don't remember disliking it, but I don't remember getting that much into it either. It was good background noise, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Looking forward to season 16 of Always Sunny.
Yeah, God, is that coming out this year? Oh, God, season 16. That is so crazy. I found out we were actually in Ireland when they were shooting their Ireland season, and we were even in like the same town and everything, but I think like we just missed them, or we got there as they were leaving or something like that. We're just like, oh, because it was like such a small town they were in too. But like the opening where you see them driving past all that beautiful scenery and stuff, it's like we were there. Oh my god, it was really, really cool. Yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Alex the Animator, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, please watch the Oscars this year, even though they haven't been as good in recent years. But who knows, maybe this year will be better for them.
I'm curious what I am curious what the viewership is going to be for it, because obviously nobody watched last year. It's the one year something happened. So I'll be curious to see if like more people tune in because of that. I do think there's a couple on there that people do want to see. I do think they want to see if Brendan Fraser gets Best Actor, and I forget the guy's name. Short Round. You know, if he's gonna get it too. Because I mean, I think those are two where it's like they kind of disappeared out of the limelight, and then they just came back in like this unique, awesome way, and I think everyone's kind of cheering for him. So my guess would be that would turn up the attendance a little bit, or the viewership a little bit, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll probably check it out.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you see any of the Oscar nominees? If you did, were there any films or actors you were happy got nominated?
I mean, they're all the ones I kind of thought would. You know, maybe Michelle Yeoh as Best Actress. I had the feeling that everything else was going to be nominated in that, except maybe her, and I did think she did a really good job. So that was maybe the only one where I was like, I could see like, and people would say snub, but you know, they'd be like, well, it's got enough, you know, and she was good. But and I'm like, no, I think that's kind of an underrated performance. You know, I think like everything else about it kind of overshadowed her a little bit. People don't talk about her as much, but I'm like, I feel like she did really good in that.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. If DC is going to have Lobo in the future, I personally prefer getting a new/unknown actor, because if they actually get Jason Momoa to play the character, it'll be too jarring of a change. He's an excellent Aquaman, and like Jeremy Renner with Hawkeye, made those heroes cool. What do you think?
I can see Momoa fine, but I agree. I think because we would so associate him with another DC character, that would be a little distracting. But I think he would play it fine. But yeah, I'm with you. I would rather get someone else in the part.
Yeah, 100%. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite character in your least favorite movie?
Favorite character, my least. What's my least favorite movie? Probably Garbage Pail Kids. What's my favorite character in that?
Yeah.
Maybe just that one woman in the leopard leotard going doing that weird laugh, because that brought a legit smile to my face. So okay, yeah, I'll say that.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits, and we're kind of going to reverse that same question. Your least favorite character from your favorite movie?
Okay, favorite movies, Brazil. Least favorite character? It's this old woman he bumps into, and he accidentally knocks over all her papers, and she says, "Clean up these things." I mean, it's just a little lady with a little dog and the flower hat and stuff like that, and it's like in the middle of this big chase. He's trying to see the love of his life and everything. I'm like, I hated her. I didn't like her at all. You're supposed to not like her, and she has like 2 seconds of screen time, but I really didn't like her.
Robin the Snob, thank you for the 100 bits. I was watching football with my dad when a certain trailer/commercial came on for a new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Knock on the Cabin. Here's hoping we're getting Lady in the Water/old Shyamalan again.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm getting that vibe. The more trailers I see of it, just the crazier it looks, and I'm so excited, man. I'm gonna see that like opening night.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Since you're a fan of Black Books, have you seen Dylan Moran's stand-up?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it as much as I love his character on that show, but well, hold on. Actually, I want to make sure now I'm thinking of the same guy. Dylan Moran. That's Bernard, right? Yeah, okay, it is Bernard. Okay. Yeah, I did enjoy it, but I like his character in Black Books a little bit more. I think he just plays him so perfectly.
Ratchet Extreme, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, I was wondering, since you like talking about Stephen King movies, if you ever had any future plans to talk about the Dark Tower film adaptation.
I never read the books, and I know that's going to be a big part of watching that movie and reviewing it. And I know I technically don't have to. I could just review it on its own, but I'm like, I feel like any true Dark Tower Stephen King fan watching that would just be thinking in their head like all the things, all the comparisons and stuff like that. So I'm like, I probably won't unless I get around to reading those books, which if I'm right, there's quite a few of them and I don't think I'm gonna have time, so probably not.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. I'm Chaplin, and I hate my life.
Oh, Chaplin, why would you say that? I love you, little kitty. Scratching your belly, make it a little better. Okay, he's asleep.
It's making all of our days better.
he just like closed his eyes. So, oh no, now he's awake. So that's great. Okay.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Oh boy. Can you and Heather improv Mr. and Mrs. Bum talking about their Valentine's Day plans?
Oh my god, it's the greatest Valentine's I ever had in my life. There's this lady, her name is Doe, and she's the most beautiful lady I've ever seen in my life. And we got together and in a nice restaurant. Okay, the back of a restaurant, the garbagey.
Ooh, the garbage part? That's fancy.
Yeah, nothing but the best for you. The
Oh,
best
honey.
restaurant, back alley, that money can look very fancy on the inside, but maybe without.
You know all I want to do is save our change, so that's perfect.
Oh, I know. Oh, love you, honey bun.
There you go. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the Weird Al movie?
I haven't seen it yet. I got to get around to it. It looks so funny. It looks like so much fun. And I'm curious how they do. Do they actually tell like his story, but they just tell it in a funny way, or do they just completely make it up? I don't know yet. I should check it out. I'm not even sure how to watch it. What's it on, Roku or something like that?
Yeah, it's on the Roku channel. We literally intentionally download the Roku app to watch it and still haven't watched it.
I got to get around to it. That's one. Maybe I should put on the list. I had a whole week off just to catch up on stuff to watch, and like I still haven't caught like half of what I'm supposed to watch.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. The difference between the early 2000s Charlie's Angels and the Ocean's 11's film, I don't know why I keep adding S's to everything. Ocean's 11 films have over their recent remakes, and why most people, sorry, I think I need to reread this again.
Yeah.
The difference between the early 2000s Charlie's Angels and the Ocean's 11 films have over their recent remakes, and why most people like them. Doug. They're fun and didn't take themselves so seriously, like the live-action Mulan seems to prioritize girl power rather than having fun, and the Charlie's Angels remake actors didn't look like they enjoyed being there.
The remake was so weird because I just do not remember a thing about it. I don't even remember it being like actively bad, like, you know, like people saying really bad, stupid lines or anything. It was just nothing. I think it was one of the few movies I was in a theater I legit fell asleep to. So yeah, which is really bizarre. And the Ocean's 11, was that a remake or was it just another like Ocean's 8? You know, just another group or what? I guess a reboot. You could call it a reboot. I haven't seen any after 11. 11's perfect. Why do any more? As soon as they like sequel baited at the end, I'm like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. I never saw any of the other ones, and yeah, I don't know. I don't have any interest. Everyone's like, yeah, they're okay, whatever, and I'm just like, well, why do I want to see that? First one's perfect. I'm done. I'm good.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Clue for next week's NC?
It's a series of movies, and one of the main actors in it was one of the Batmans in the collection of Batmans that I reviewed.
Okay. Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello to you, Dashing Doug and Heavenly Heather. Hope that you two are doing well and being safe due to the cold weather that's happening currently. Yeah.
It must be, you know, Chicago's getting off okay.
Well, you know what it is, Doug, that I was just looking at is it's basically not going to stop snowing until Sunday.
Right. So when, like
It's
starting
like,
tonight, or
well, okay, so we get
I know
snow
we got some
today.
today,
We
but
get
yeah.
snow tomorrow. We get snow on Friday. We get snow on Saturday. We
Oh
don't have
wow.
snow on
Okay.
Sunday, but we do have snow on Monday. You know, like
Okay. All right. Well, that changes things a little
yeah, it's just
bit.
gonna snow, 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 snow. I mean, there's gonna be like there's gonna be intermissions like we've had right now,
Yeah.
but like it's just gonna snow a lot.
Okay, because the last major storm that hit every place so hard didn't hit us too hard. We
No,
just
it
got the
didn't.
super, but we did get the super cold. That was
Yes.
like maybe the coldest I've ever like felt outside, like shuffling. I was like, oh my god, I had to borrow because I don't usually cover up my face too much, but it was the first time I had to go with my wife and just be like, do we have any type of scarf or something? Because my cheeks are like hurting. And so I'm shoveling, the black coat, the hat, the gloves, and then just this sparkly green scarf wrapped around my face. I'm
Beautiful.
just like, all right, thank God it's a storm and nobody can see me.
Beautiful. Celluloid Surfer, thank you for the 100 bits. Am I the only one surprised Everything Everywhere All at Once got a Best Picture nom? Not saying it's undeserving, just pleasantly surprised.
See, that was like, and for me, that was one of the big front runners, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because people were talking about it so much. I mean, I wasn't surprised.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, just saw Puss in Boots The Last Wish last weekend and it was incredible. I even cried a couple of times. Perito in particular is one of the most effective comic relief characters I've seen in a long while and is the true good boy of the movie. Must protect.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I saw it a second time, and whenever he pops up, I always think it's gonna be like, I'm not gonna like him this time. You can just see
Yeah.
those traditional comic relief staples
Mm-hmm.
on him, but they wrote him so well, he acted it very well, and the emotional scenes are legit really emotional and very organic. The film's doing really well apparently. Like it really has legs. Like I think it was like number 2 this
Mm.
week. So I'm really glad to see that. It means word of mouth is getting around and more people are not only seeing it, but they want to see it on the big screen, which is really the
Yeah.
way to see it.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Can you tell the difference between a TV show that's leaning into the stupidity in a good way versus one doing it the wrong way?
I mean, I'll go a little bit the safe answer. It is subjective. There's certain, okay, perfect example with the movie Charlie's Angels. I thought they leaned into it in the worst way. I thought there was no character. The comedy wasn't good. Nobody looked like they're having fun outside of Curry and I forget his name, Willard, but yeah, but a lot of people say, man, I love the camaraderie they have and they work well off each other and everything, and the style is so 2000. So it is kind of subjective. I love those awful Christmas rom-coms. I think they're hilarious. I think they're, wonderfully bad, but they know that they are and they're having fun with it and stuff. But I know so many are people that's like, why would you subject yourself to that? And it's like, I get it. They are bad, but they're very self-aware and they're very cozy and they know what the audience is looking for. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's giving the audience what they're looking for. Maybe that's the best way. I can think of it.
Right. I think part of it is the writing too. And like a kind of that untangible thing that you're talking about where like, that they're in on the joke. Or it's so sincere that it's hilarious. But sometimes there's no way to like measure that and tell you, so it has to do this, this, and this. But
yeah, it's rough. It's hard to have like whatever, a checklist or a bullet point. If anything, when movies or shows do that, they usually get into more trouble, but some do it okay. Again, even the Christmas rom-coms, okay, we have to have this, and or slasher films, same thing, we have to have these, and they're right. That is part of the fun.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. So, Doug, I went to see Puss in Boots Last Wish this past Saturday, and well, I liked it. Just liked it. It's a pretty good movie. Nah, I'm kidding. I absolutely loved it. Definitely need to see it again.
Yeah, I loved it too, man. I'm glad so many people are giving it that second chance, especially after the holidays and stuff like that. People want to see certain things on the big screen, and I don't know, word of mouth. I love that. It's weird because I feel like this past year movies didn't do great, but there's those couple that did really well, and I love that it's word of mouth that what made them do so well. Even something like Avatar 2, which I wasn't a fan of, but I love that it had like an okay weekend and it just kept building because people are saying, oh my God, you gotta go see it. I don't know why. Even for a movie I'm not a fan of, I love that they're like, you have to see it because of the spectacle. It's
Hmm.
word of mouth that's spreading about it. And that's, I don't know, that's one of the amazing things about movies. It's fine seeing a rom-com on the big screen, sure, whatever. But like when you see like something that's like, you have to see it on the big screen, you have to see it with a crowd. That's great. That's the magic of movies to me.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen The Pale Blue Eye on Netflix? I thought it was good. It was just way too slow. I didn't see the twist near the end coming, though.
That's the Christian Bale one? Yeah. No, I have not. That might be a good one to check out. Yeah, all right. Try to check it out.
Gigabuster, thank you for the 100 bits. Thanks for your time. What are your thoughts about Bradley Cooper being in Steven Spielberg's Bullet movie? Did you see the original from 1968?
Is that we're not talking about Silver Bullet, are we?
I don't know. It's
1968.
Bullitt, which is why I don't know even know if it's pronounced bullet. Just
This is a. Oh wait,
Bullitt.
Did they say? Wait. They say Stephen King or Steve McQueen?
Spielberg.
Oh, wow, I wasn't even close. Okay. Well, a terrible confession. I haven't seen the original. I recognize that cover. But I have not seen it, so I guess I can't comment. Except I will try to see that movie.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, yesterday I went to see the movie The Whale, and I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, Brendan Fraser is outstanding in it. Have you seen The Whale yet?
No, and that's another one I should. I always heard like nobody said it's bad, but people are like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Kind of thing. So I'm like, maybe I'll wait to rent it or something. But like everyone agrees Fraser's phenomenal in it. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't pretty curious to check it out. It's just kind of fitting in that time and space to do it. But yeah, maybe I'll try this weekend. I'll see what I can do.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Like, honestly, I'd argue that Pareto is the crowning achievement of what comic reliefs are supposed to be. Even now, I can't recall a single joke of his that had me groaning or facepalming, and he had his fair share of moments where, despite his frequent obliviousness, he could be quite serious/dignified. One of my favorite tear-jerking moments was the panic attack scene.
Me too. Yeah, that is a really legitimately organic emotional moment. And his backstory as well, which, is so darkly funny, but I mean, it's very clear why that's an emotional scene too. And I love he never finds out. So many other movies would have it where it's like somebody would tell him the truth and it's him dealing with that, but he never does. Like he's just going through the film with this thought that this is his backstory and the different motivations that people had. So yeah, I love that. I was really impressed thinking in my head, oh my God, it's just going to be kind of a cheapo comic relief. And they really fleshed him out in a really good way.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. What do you think of the Razzies apologizing to Ryan Kiera Armstrong? I personally think they went way too far by nominating a child actor for Worst Actress.
Huh. Kiera Armstrong. I don't think I know.
I don't know what the situation is.
Oh, they apologized to her? Is that what the...
Yeah, the Razzies apologized.
I see why they did it. There is a part of me that says, well, that's also the biz. You had to get used to that and stuff like that. The Razzies do exist just to be kind of these comical, rub it in kind of things. But yeah, it is a kid. I get it. I wonder if they've done that in the past. Like, I haven't forget his name. The little Anakin Skywalker, Phantom Menace, Jake Lloyd. I like when it was Jake Lloyd on there for like worst actor or something like that.
Yeah.
You never know. I guess it depends on the tolerance of the kid, and that's why it's like I'll always try to say if the kid's not good in something, but try not to do like a personal attack. Because yeah, it's like to be an actor already, you got to put a lot out there. You're just exposing so much. out there and being so vulnerable, and you're putting everything to like the will of the director, the writer, the editor, and stuff like that. And then yeah, you're performing, but that's like 4 people, including yourself, you gotta rely on. So you're already taking a risk, and I feel like you have to kind of know that going in. But when it's a kid, I get it. I understand. It's also the Razzies. I don't know. It doesn't help I didn't see the movie either. So I'm on the fence about it.
JT, thank you for the 100 bits. So with the Oscar nominations out now, are you both currently hoping for any wins in specific categories? Personally, I want to see Everything Everywhere All at Once win Best Director. Between this and Swiss Army Man, the Daniel directors are coming up with really original, unique movies and should be rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's right. They did do Swiss Army Man, didn't they? I mean, I really love that movie, so I'd love to see that win. I mean, the ones I think everybody wants to see win, I want to see win. I want to see Fraser win. I'm gonna fucking look up his name so I don't keep calling him Short Round. Here, hold on. But the title is so long. But yes, I want. There we go. Okay, sorry, it's taking forever to play. Okay, K Hui Kwan. I want to see him win like everybody does.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Heather? I want to get your take on this. Jamie Lee Curtis was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Do you feel that makes sense? Like, she was fine, but like, okay, and maybe I remember her having like, I guess like kind of a bit role. I mean, I guess she is in a lot of it, but like with everything else going on, that wasn't like the one that like jumped out to me. You know what I mean? In terms of acting, but I've been hearing other people say that too. Just like, well, good, yeah, I thought she'd be in there. I thought she'd be Best Supporting. I'm like, oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Her role was big enough in it, and
yeah, I mean,
in
she's
my
always
opinion,
good.
Yeah,
I mean, she's always great in everything she's in. Yeah, so all right, fair enough.
CM Sully, thank you for the 100 bits. I was honestly surprised to see Turning Red got a nomination, considering all the backlash it got from people who had nothing better to do.
I think that's just internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, to me, I'd be more shocked if that didn't get nominated. That really has like modern contemporary Oscar written all over it. My guess would be it's gonna win.
Yeah.
But and this is coming from someone who likes the movie. Keep in mind. But yeah, maybe I missed a lot of the backlash. I heard of a little bit of it, but not like a ton. It was like different backlashes and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed to get good critical reviews. It seemed like enough people liked it where it made sense to put it on there. And again, it kind of has like the Oscar stamp all over it. So yeah, that didn't surprise me.
Honest Reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. In other Avatar news, it just crossed $2 billion, which means it broke even, and we'll be getting Avatar 4, 5, and 6.
God, they're making that, man. How many times is he just going to tell the same story? That's the interesting thing. Or drag out like the one mystery thing with the Sigourney Weaver character and then wait until like movie 6 to be like, I don't know, never answer it or something. So, on the one hand, I'm like, to it. But on the other hand, people worked really hard on it. It is breaking barriers in terms of effects, which I think is really, really cool. I like to see the technology pushed more. I'm glad it's a pretty movie. I'm glad it's that and Top Gun are bringing spectacle back. So it's not entirely like a bad thing. I don't want it to fail, you know what I mean? I at the very least want it to break even. Now that broke even, I would love if it just stopped.
Yeah.
Personally.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. When Brad mixed all 3 Pepsi flavors together and the lights went out, the first thing I thought was going to happen was him accidentally creating the Powerpuff Girls. But you guys have to join him to try the outrageous foods and drinks.
We did try some of these, and I actually tried the sardine candy canes, and you're going to be very disturbed. I thought they were okay.
Ew, Doug!
I thought they were totally fine. Out of all the ones we tried, I think we tried like ketchup ones. We tried a pickle one, and those are the nastiest to me. Yeah, see, I hate pickles, so that's like.
Oh, well, that's a you problem then, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. But sardines, I don't mind. Honestly, I actually think I don't prefer them. I don't seek them out, but if it's like on something, I'm like, that's okay. So yeah, I actually didn't mind him at all. I might take him from his place because I think he still has them.
Oh, of course he does. I know, Guy. Thank you so much for the 33-month subscription. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Appreciate that. Do you think you'll talk about all the Illumination movies before the Mario movie? Also, will you review Puss in Boots movie once Last Wish comes out on Blu-ray?
Yeah, because it is one of those movies I feel like I can really dive into and explain just all the different things that I really enjoy about it and really work. In terms of Illumination, I'll either do that or I'll do like all the Despicable Me movies. So I never have talked about them, like including like the Minion movies and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do that because there's a lot of Illumination movie, at least a lot to cover in one video. So I'll probably do the Despicable Me movies.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 100 bits. Speaking of Charlie's Angels, Tim Curry's in there, and I would strongly recommend Mucha Lucha movie, where Tim Curry plays the villain named El Malefico, who looks like a coup from Samurai Jack, but with a mask.
Oh, you know what? This is a cartoon, right? I've seen this style before. I know I've seen this character before, like just on the background of TV or whatever, but I don't know anything about it. I didn't even know Tim Curry was in it. I will try. I'll try my best. I got a lot of stuff to still watch.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Additionally, I was pretty infuriated when the villain was threatening to shoot Perito with absolutely no shred of decency or qualms about what they were doing. Personally, I could think of quite a few actually obnoxious comic reliefs that deserve being shot in the face far more than that little cinnamon roll.
Well, exactly. You're supposed to feel sympathy for, and he gets his comeuppance, so it works out okay. It's all part of the plan.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. So in the Oscar nominees pre-show, one person said, Oscar viewership was up last year. Gee, I wonder why.
I mean, was it? I thought it was still pretty down, but people were like talking about it a lot more.
I think people turned it on after the slap.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing.
All right.
So like
interesting. So like halfway. All right, and that would then count. Okay. All right. Interesting. Maybe it was the year before. I was thinking. I think that might have been like the lowest one or something.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. When I saw Puss in Boots 2 this past Saturday, I felt like I was watching the first two Shrek movies, which I grew up watching those movies. It definitely felt like it earned its PG rating to me, don't you agree? I laughed and I got emotional too, particular with the dog and Goldilocks. Death is amazing.
Yeah, every time that character shows up. And I love how like the environment changes around him too, and how they kind of sneak him into the background and the foreground, and how like, a person's running and two trees might get close and just suddenly like it forms him for a second and then like disappears. It's so smart, so good. I love it.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. You should watch the Oscar nominee announcements because they got Riz Ahmed to say, "My year of dicks," and an ostrich told me the world is fake and I think I believe it. Both are real movie titles.
Okay. At least try to look at those scenes.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, since we didn't get a new NC this week, can you please just straight up tell us what the next review is so I won't have to wonder for an extra week?
But it's so much fun to have you guess. It's one of the Batmans, one of the actors who play Batman. It's a series of movies that he was in. So that's your clue. That's your clue.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Hear me out. Del Toro's Pinocchio was really good, but Puss in Boots deserves Best Animated Feature. It's time the Academy put some respect on them.
I mean, I think it's gonna lose to Turning Red. just what I recall about the Academy and stuff like that. It's like that would be my assumption. But I've been wrong before. I didn't think like Spider-Verse would ever win. It was pretty cool when it did. So yeah, I don't know for sure. It'd be cool if Del Toro won for Pinocchio, just because it'd be cool to see like a stop motion movie win. Because I don't know if it has yet. I don't know if they always get nominated, but I don't know if stop motion usually wins Best Animated Picture. So that'd be interesting.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Finally, I feel like the one the only one who's bothered by the starlight starbright rhyme when people say, I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. When the original 1940 Pinocchio, it was, have the wish I make tonight. It's like when people say mirror, mirror on the wall instead of magic mirror on the wall. Are they just trying to avoid copyright from Disney?
Probably. Honestly, when they were actually saying that rhyme, I was even thinking like, isn't that owned by Disney? Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Like, is that just a popular nursery rhyme? Like, I wasn't sure. I mean, I grew up with it from Pinocchio. I just assumed it was from there, but maybe it's a popular rhyme. I don't know.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Okay, Doug, did you hear the news about M&Ms? I think it's pretty stupid. I love the M&M spokes candies. What are your thoughts? No hate for Maya Rudolph. I only seen a few movies/TV that I like her in.
I don't know. A part of me is like, it's weird that it's news. First of all, like, wasn't the big like whatever announcement that the changes and stuff, wasn't it like a year ago? And there were barely any unless you're Tucker Carlson, like nobody would even notice, if you didn't bring this up. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll see what they do. I hope they don't get rid of them. I doubt they would just get rid of the spokes candies there, because they're so easy to recognize and point out, and they all have personalities and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It feels weird even giving it like attention. Because it seems like, and you know me, like I did a whole video on M&Ms and stuff like that. But in terms of like, a part of me almost feels like they're trolling a little bit, because they had a line, something like, we're realizing now even the shoes of candy can be divisive. I'm thinking like they're throwing a little bit of shade out there. Like, yeah, this is pretty stupid, y'all, kind of thing. So, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of indifferent. I hope they don't get rid of the characters. I don't think they're going to, because I think they're way too memorable, and I think they do their job very well. But yeah, I guess for someone saying this is all really silly, that's a pretty long answer.
May I point out, the Super Bowl is in 2 weekends.
That's another thing people are pointing out.
Convenient timing that they just made this announcement to get everyone talking about M&Ms and Maya Rudolph weeks before the Super Bowl. They're going to come back in a Super Bowl commercial. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, and it's just the time, because, yeah, the Super Bowl, and then, like I said, they changed it. Wasn't it like a year ago or half a year or something like that? They're like, we're listening to the internet. I'm like, were they still talking about it this long?
No, I think it's all a Super Bowl thing.
That would be, I guess, but what a weird way to get attention on. I don't know.
I mean, everyone's talking about it, are they not?
I guess. I mean, yeah. That's so weird, though. It's not news. It's not news. But I guess, okay. But we're talking about here. This
right, exactly.
A longer answer, so I guess it serves the point. Okay.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I realized something. When I see you write down a recommendation on camera, it puts my mind at ease without the need to request it multiple times. With that being said, either write down or show on your list Telltale's The Walking Dead, please.
I got it down. We have it. So I write them here, so then I could go into a Word document and type them in later, because I can't hold on to all these sheets of paper. But yeah, no, I have a thing for like different games to play and stuff like that, and that's on there. Don't worry.
Drew ZMC, thank you for the 100 bits. 1, the name's pronounced Drew ZMC. 2, ever considered reviewing the Sonic movie with Scott the Woz, Doug?
Well, does he like the movie? Because that'll probably play a part. I feel like if I'm going to talk about those movies, I should wait for them all to come out. I know they're at least going to do 3. And if they're going to do any more after that, maybe we'll see. But because I didn't care for the first one, but I really liked the second one. So I feel like I want to wait and see what direction they go before I really start talking about them. But yeah, that's the plan.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What was the inspiration for the Bum's voice?
I did a review of Cloverfield where I'm reenacting the movie, and I'm just playing some stupid guy screaming like, "Oh, somebody tore off the head of the Statue of Liberty? Who would do that? A monster!" And I just like the voice so much. I'm like, I want to do something with that. So yeah, that's pretty much where it came from.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen the film Troy, and would you review it? I know it's mythologically inaccurate, but in my opinion, Brad Pitt as Achilles carries the film and is my favorite performance of his.
Somebody, I think it was my uncle, he put it best. He's like, for the story of Troy, it's pretty weak. I thought, yeah, that sounds right. It's not like it was awful or terrible. It was just weak. Yeah. Like, when I got to the end, I didn't feel like, oh, man. I feel like I can see why that's one of the great stories. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, okay, that exists. But it's also trying to do like a what really happened kind of thing in a weird way. And I don't know. I guess I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it either.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. Nothing but the best dumpster in the world.
Oh, yes. God bless you, sir.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. You know what's the most random actor renaissance I can think of? Tom Green. Can you imagine if he started showing up in a bunch of movies? Is there a random actor you can think of to get a renaissance out of nowhere?
Honestly, I hear Tom Green's a really nice guy. So if he did, I think that'd be awesome. I don't know. I didn't care for his comedy, but it's like, I get the feeling that guy could do like something serious or interesting, and just the whole Freddy's Got Fingered thing like is so outside the box and so celebrating everything that's awful. You gotta respect it a little bit, I feel like, and there is a cleverness to it. So I'm kind of with you. I love to see how he would do it and what way he would do it. Would he do like a drama? Would he do like an abstract comedy that's also a drama? Like how cool would it be if he made one of the worst movies of all time? They also made like one of the best movies of all time. Like that'd be hilarious.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 100 bits. I noticed you said, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's Al from Charlie's Angels or AI. Well, I did some Al, AI, and typed Darth Maul if he's a Dragon Ball Z character.
AI.
Yeah, it is AI. Okay, great.
No, I've been running into that quite a few times. Is it Al or is it AI? So they did Darth Maul as a Dragon Ball Z character. Oh, with like AI. Yeah. Cool. I bet it looked awesome.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, in your Velma video, you mentioned a couple of Christians that do work as legit good movies. Well, you should add Hacksaw Ridge to that list. It's one of the best true story films ever made. Please watch it, and it's directed by Mel Gibson, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know he directed that. Oh, shit. I really didn't know that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie the more I think about it. I always thought it was like a different one. Okay, I'll try. I think I had that down on a list. Yeah, no, it's the Andrew Garfield one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Didn't know it was a Gibson movie. Yeah. Okay, anyway. I have it on the list of like stuff to watch, so I'll try to get around to it. I heard it's good.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you started watching Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go yet? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Not yet. I'm probably going to start it this week. On my time off, I got a little sick, but I had like a cough, but I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel tired or anything. And then when I got over it, the tired came later, which was really weird.
Yeah.
And I did 2 COVID tests. It's not COVID. But yeah, so I just sort of didn't box in the morning, and that's usually where I watch the Disney stuff in the morning. So, but I'm probably gonna get back to it tomorrow. So yeah, I'll probably start then.
Drew ZMC, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, have you considered a Freak Show Cinema for Evil Dead 1 and 2, and an NC for Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2013, and maybe the upcoming Evil Dead Rise?
I mean, now I don't think YouTube would let us show it. I mean, it's hard to talk about those movies without showing like the gore and the effects and stuff like that. So probably not. Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff now where I'm just like, well, shit, can I show this? Can I say this? Do I have to, what's allowed now? Like, I don't even know.
Drew ZMC, thank you for the 100 bits. One more. Imagine if they make another Hotel Transylvania film and they focus on Dennis and Winnie, Mavis's son, and the Wolfman's daughter.
If they like grew them up, I could see that being pretty fun. I think we see them enough as like little kids. Yeah, if they suddenly like became teens or older or college kids or something like that, I think that'd be interesting.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. And they had already said in chat they accidentally asked a question twice, and we don't have to answer it again. But thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cello Antonio, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, when it came to reviewing your old home movies like Battle of Stupidity and Last Man on Earth, did you have any cringe attacks from watching your old self, or did you laugh at how creative you were?
Never. It was all flawless and perfection. As everybody does when they watch old home movies of themselves when they were like, 11, 12 years old. And no, we like seeing old stupid shit like that and comparing to how far we've come or how far we haven't come at the same time. So no, I think that stuff's usually pretty fun.
Echo Whale, thank you for the 100 bits. What would you say is the least terrible Fantastic Four movie?
Honestly, the B movie one, the one that's like the first one made. Was that a Hammer film? I can't remember. Somebody, hold on, Fantastic Four. Was that Hammer Productions that made it? Something for the Hammer. Nah, must be something else. But okay, the first one that came out, or was it Roger Corman?
Corman is what Honest Reviewer is saying in chat.
Corman. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Sorry, I get them confused. Yeah, the Roger Corman one, because as a lot of people have pointed out, it's the only one where they actually go and like fight crime. They actually go out and they try to stop bad things from happening. They're not causing it half the time.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Here's an idea, Doug. Play a palate cleanser game in between a single Disney game so we won't have to wait a year to play all the greats like God of War, Walking Dead, etc.
I've been playing around with some of that in terms of how to do like future gameplays here and stuff like that, because like the Disney Decembers of them do okay, but they're not all like knockouts and stuff like that. So there is a part of me I'm like, well, maybe, like still do them for Disney December, but do I have to do 5? Can I do like 2 or 3 and then try some other games? So I've been thinking about it.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, have you seen how terrible Velma is? Honestly, considering how Scooby-Doo will probably go on forever, what can we do with the franchise at this point?
Oh, that's like DC. Like, oh no, what will the DCEU do now that James Gunn took over? What will DC do since Justice League didn't do well? The characters are so timeless, still being used, and have gone through a ton of wins, a ton of failures. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And it's fine to think Scooby-Doo is one of those franchises where it's like, yeah, people can just watch different takes on them over and over. And same thing with Ninja Turtles. I love Ninja Turtles, but I'm like, really? This is one that's still being remorphed and redone and stuff like that. Like, this is the new Batman or Wonder Woman. And so I'm like, that's fascinating to me. But that's also kind of fun, I think, very telling of the time period it was made and the time periods that come after it, which I think is kind of cool. So it'll be fine.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Which genre gets slighted the most at the award shows? Horror, comedy, or rom-coms?
Rom-coms, I feel like you get like When Harry Met Sally or something like that. There's horror, and what was the other one?
Comedy.
Comedy? Comedies, I feel like, again, if it's like a half comedy, half drama, they get there too. Probably horror. That doesn't get too much love.
Right, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like a lot of times those Academy type people see horror as strictly a genre movie that can't be taken seriously. So Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, how exactly do I recommend a convention to request your presence?
Oh, just reach out to the site or whatever and say, hey, I'm looking to request this person.
Yeah,
they should have sites. If they don't, that's not a convention you want to go to.
Right, yeah. Just get on the website and see where they have a contact us, even if there's not a specific, like, request a guest thing, DJ Lol5, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, which film that is based on a true story do you think is great and represents the actual story of said events, since you said that you didn't like A Perfect Storm?
Man, that's based on a true story movie. Yeah, because there's a lot of them, but boy, what would I say are like
the best,
real good ones? Yeah, man. Now, wait a minute. There's one on here, The Favorite. I'm like, okay, but that takes some very clear liberties.
Right.
The way they did on I, Tanya, I thought was very clever. That's one that's popping up on here. Elvis is another one where I'm like, I like that movie, but I'm like, that's taking some liberties. Rain Man's not a true story. What's that doing? Some of these, I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, I don't know the original story of the guy, but Raging Bull is a really good movie. King's Speech, I thought was done very well. So yeah, I guess that's a couple here. I know there's others. I'm trying to find that one where I'm like, oh yeah, like fucking that one. That was amazing. Frost Nixon, I really like, and that did take liberties, but I thought it still got the essence of what it was about. So yeah. Oh, Edwin. That's another one where like a lot of that's, exaggerated or even sometimes made up, but man, they still got the heart of the story and the idea and the comedy and the essence of those people. And yeah, no, I love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Wild Katarn, thank you for the 100 bits. Will you be playing the Jedi Survivor game in the future? And will Chaplin be lending him the same amount of help during your gameplay?
Yeah, I'm going to lock him out of the room next time I play. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're probably going to do that after Miles Morales. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
DJ Lull5, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you know the Puss in Boots, the last wish before we actually meet Death during the fight with the giant, Death can be seen in the shadows behind the crowd to show that he's always there for when Puss would be in a near-death experience?
I mean, they hit him in a lot of places. I thought I saw them all, but there is a lot going on. I could see, like, missing it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll let you know when I see it a third time.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. A lover of cinema says, hey Doug, been a fan of Channel Awesome since 2016. I'm now 19 years old and a freshman in college. My question for you is, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Kung Fu Panda 4? As a Kung Fu Panda fan, I'm split, but I still hope it's good. Thanks for the great content and can't wait to see what you bring us in 2023.
Yeah, because watching Kung Fu Panda 3 again, it looked like they were doing like a little recap of the past movies there. Like this is going to be the final one, so it is a little weird to do. But at the same time, they haven't made a bad movie yet. And it's something that's clearly laid out where they can do more. So I don't know. I hope it's good because I like the other ones.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Why watch Avatar? Just watch porn.
Just watch porn. I'm sure there's Avatar porn.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
DJ Lol5, thank you for the 100 bits. I really hope that Netflix Pinocchio wins Best Animated Picture so that Guillermo del Toro can say that animation is an art form and not a genre in his big speech. P.S. I personally hope it's The Last Wish, though.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it is one of those things, as much as we like to say, yeah, this last year for movies, it wasn't that great. It's like, there were some good anime ones, man. There were some really good ones in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because on the one hand, I mean, like, Puss in Boots wasn't my personal favorite, but I'd be lying if I said, man, it wouldn't be cool if Pinocchio won.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's going to be Turning Red.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 100 bits. I meant to add these bits to my earlier message. It's about the idea of a live-action Netflix/Hulu series being based on the origin story of Hamato Yoshi and Oroku Sakai back when they were orphaned kids being adopted by the master of the Foot Clan, up to when Sakai became the Shredder and Yoshi's pet rat gets mutated along with 4 turtles in the NYC sewers.
I always grew up knowing Oroku Saki, but now I'm wondering if that's the proper way, Oroku Sakai. Like, the more I think about it, maybe they mispronounced it in
it's Saki. I said it wrong.
Is it Saki? Okay.
Yeah, because Sakai would have an AI.
Right. No, because there are so many times
that was
in
my bad.
Cartoons, they'll try to say something and they said it a different way. So, okay.
We get it, Doug. I was wrong, okay? No, just kidding.
Well, I said, Ryu for years. That's Ryu, right? I mean, so it's like, that's why I was like, oh shit, was I saying it wrong?
No.
But no, honestly, I think that'd be pretty cool. Again, based on a series where turtles come to life and practice ninjutsu and eat pizza, I'd be curious to see how seriously people could take it, but that could also be part of the fun of it. Yeah, I don't know. That actually would be a little fun.
Yu-Gi-Oh fan, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi guys, have you seen the Netflix show Blockbuster and that 90s show? And if so, what are your thoughts? Oh. Uh-oh. We've lost Doug. We've lost Doug. Doug. Oh, please hold.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, are we back? Are we back on stream?
Yeah, that must have been on your end.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
No, that's
just
all
'cause
right.
I couldn't hear anything, and it was scary. It was so scary.
It's okay, Doug. You're here now. That's fine.
Okay, thank God.
So I'm assuming you did not hear the question.
No, I did not. So sorry.
Okay. Have you seen the Netflix shows Blockbuster and That 90s Show? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I saw the trailer to that 90s show, and I didn't even like that 70s show, so I don't think I'm gonna like 90s show. My wife wanted to try the Blockbuster show. I said, don't do it. She's like, oh, come on. I love Superstore, which I don't even know why she likes that. But I love Superstore. I want to give this a chance. It's got the guy from Fresh Off the Boat. We like Fresh Off the Boat. She got like 2 minutes in and turned it off.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is pretty funny. Yeah, again, love Blockbuster. Love that guy. I always forget his name, but he is so funny. But yeah, that show was not working for us.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, one of the best things about The Chosen is it not only focuses on the disciples as much as Jesus, but it expands on their backstories with the charming and witty dialogue. Even Jesus has funny lines and not just an ethereal role model stereotype. It feels like a real show.
That is pretty cool. I mean, I think I've heard you talk about it a couple times. It does sound good. I still haven't gotten around to seeing it, but honestly, it doesn't sound bad.
Robin the Snob, thank you for the 100 bits. My Batman contribution is, my favorite performance in Dark Knight Rises was Gary Oldman. I was scared about how the heck the Batman was supposed to compare with such a performance, but Jeffrey Wright was awesome and impressed me.
Yeah, and again, with Pattinson, honestly, all the actors in there, one of a kind. You can't point to that Gordon and be like, well, he's giving the performance that like Gary Oldman played or Pat Hingle played. Like he's the first Gordon where I buy he'd be working with a guy dressed as a bat. Like even he seems a little odd, but he also has I've been doing this so long and I'm so desperate. Sure, why not? Like he just really, really sells it. And I don't know. He might be my favorite. I do like the animated series one a lot, but I don't know. I love the oddness of him, and I love that actor. He just always adds like his own unique touch to everything, and just a distinct oddness that I love. So yeah, I tend to agree with you.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Honestly, I think the actress who played the daughter in Everything Everywhere All at Once should have had the Best Supporting Actress nomination. No shade on Curtis, but the girl who played the hell out of that villain role.
Didn't she? I thought she did. I thought they were in the same category. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't see the nominations. I mean, if it was one or the other, I thought, what is that?
I thought they were both nominated. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, DCL Coda says she was nominated.
She was. Okay.
Stephanie
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one of those unfortunate. It's very flattering, but it's unfortunate when two actors or actresses are nominated in the same category from the same movie. Amadeus, the same thing happened.
Yeah.
Tom Hulce and Ed Murray Abraham were both nominated for Best Actor. It's just like, like because you could just feel everybody's like, I don't know. They're both great. They're both so different. In that category, though, I agree with you. I would say the daughter's more interesting in that.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 100 bits. I'm so happy that Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio got an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Feature. I loved Puss in Boots too, but Pinocchio was my favorite animated movie this year.
That's fair. And when people say, and I really like it too, I'm not gonna diss that movie at all. I think everyone was just gonna have a different movie that speaks to them. And by God, if you just show me the trailers for both and said, which one do you think is gonna be like your favorite movie of the year? I would have said Pinocchio. And it is phenomenal. Again, I'm not bashing it in the slightest. But Puss in Boots just weirdly spoke to me more.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits, and I guarantee I'm going to accidentally mess up a name pronunciation. I apologize. Well, even though I've seen Avatar The Last Airbender, you know, things just get mixed up in my brain. While randomly pondering Avatar The Last Airbender, I was reminded of the moments...
You got Bender wrong!
Ha! Yep, I did. Of the moment in Season 1 finale when Chief Arnook took Sokka off the mission against Zhao's forces so he could protect Yue. It really speaks to Sokka's character that Arnook saw his value and trusted him with protecting Yue rather than her arrogant fiance because he sees how much she means to Sokka.
God, it's been so long since I've seen those episodes. I forgot that was even like a B story in that. Yeah. No, okay, good. I'm glad. I don't feel too bad about it. But yes, as someone who never forgets that scene, absolutely agree.
Griffiths, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you think you would ever consider giving an NC review for Little Nicky one day? I know it's an unusual movie, but it's one I've wanted to take on for a while now. And also, Party Monster.
I never did see Party Monster. I heard it's not good, but he's good. Culkin's supposed to be really good in it. In terms of Little Nicky, I actually have another Adam Sandler movie I'm doing right now, so I'll have to leave a little bit of time in between there.
You got really blurry, Doug.
Oh, no.
Oh, never mind. As soon as I said that, you focused right back up. Just kidding.
They're good?
Great.
Right.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Okay, Doug, will you watch/review for Disney-cember this year Remember the Titans or Mr. Holland's Opus? If you can do both, that would be awesome, but I'll wait for either Mr. Holland's Opus or Titans next year. They're both excellent movies.
I think I have Remember the Titans on the list. Mr. Holland's Opus, I'm not going to lie, I don't have much interest in. I don't know if a lot of people have much interest in, so I'm not looking to do that one, but I do remember a lot of people saying, you guys Remember the Titans, it's like a classic film and stuff like that, so that one I'll probably check out.
Irish DC, thank you for the 8-month subscription. Welcome back,
you.
Appreciate it. Heyo, Doug, Heather, and chat. Hope you're all keeping well.
You too.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. Hacksaw Ridge is an amazing movie, but it wouldn't make a good NC episode.
oh, the comment was saying that?
Yeah.
I would probably agree. I haven't seen it, but I feel like you're right.
Mumra, thank you for the 100 bits. After the death of Jim Varney, there was a rumor that he had been filming on a project entitled Ernest the Pirate. What really happened was a director that Jim had worked with before had him in mind for a pirate character, but passed before it was shot. The part went to Tim Curry, and the film is called Pirates of the Plane. It came out in 1999.
Never even heard of that one. Interesting. I did not know that.
KP Crook, thank you for the 100 bits. Since you reviewed the Dragon's Lair games years ago with Don Bluth, would you ever play and review the other game he worked on, Space Ace? Perhaps bring him back for that one if he's available.
I did play it years ago. Again, it's rough, but it's fun. It does have a fun thing where the hero gets transformed from like a man into a boy, like a boy going through puberty. So his voice sounds like this, and the voice is really funny. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe might be an idea.
Hey, we're in hype train number 2 for the day. Thanks, chat. Appreciate you.
Chicka.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, when you showed that clip of Nicolas Cage saying the alphabet in your Ant Bully review, it cured me of an earworm from a version of the song from Blue's Clues, which has annoyed me my whole life. Thank you for saving a part of my sanity, Doug.
You're welcome. Thank Mr. Cage. He's usually known for causing insanity, so I'm sure he would very much appreciate that.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What are your top 3 favorite Danny DeVito performances?
Man, I do love him in Hoffa. I think he did a really good job there. I do kind of love him as Frank in Always Sunny. Yeah, let me think. What other... I don't know why, but the one that's coming to my head, it's a toss-up between Taxi, which I do really like him in, and then in The Simpsons, he played Homer's brother, and I don't know why. He just really created a character out of that, like a fleshed-out 3-dimensional character that I always had like sympathy for. I think he's only in like 2 episodes, but like I always remember really feeling for the guy, and it was all just in his voice, because the design just looked like Homer with hair. That's it. And yeah, I remember really liking that.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Who was your favorite character in Only Murders in the Building?
Um, it's a good question. I kind of like the was he deaf or mute? I think he was deaf. The deaf son, Nathan Lane's son in that. There's kind of a fun mystery to him, but there's also like a little bit of a sympathy to him as well. Yeah, I remember really liking him.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. 127 hours is pretty accurate.
I never did see that one. I heard it's good. I was talking to Heather before about some movies where I'm just like, I'm sure it's good. I don't know if I can watch it though, because just the idea of like, just some things make you really uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, man, just the idea of like being there, getting through that, and having to do that and everything. It is just like, ugh. And I'm sure the reason I don't want to see it is because it's done badly. It's because it's done well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna make me squirm.
Yeah.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, out of curiosity, what's your favorite type of villain to watch? The irredeemable monsters who are evil for the sake of being evil, or the tragic ones with more humanity and sympathy that could potentially, not always, but potentially, reach some kind of redemption arc?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love them both. I guess if one was going to be pushed a little bit more, maybe the no redemption one, just because they're tougher to do because they're so easy to make too simple and too boring. So when you make them really charming and just enjoying their evil, so, like a Maleficent or something like that, I do remember them a little bit more, but at the same time, I love when somebody will go the extra mile and add a lot of layers to it. So, like Ramesses in Prince of Egypt, like that's a great villain, but he's not one note in the slightest. I'm really on the fence. I guess maybe just a little towards the just pure evil, but it's really close.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What are your thoughts on the film L.A. Confidential?
I saw it when it came out, and I don't remember it that well. It's one that I should probably see again, because I remember, I think I was in high school. I was having a little bit of a hard time following it. And I don't remember it being bad. I just remember not following it that great. And everyone said, this is one of the best movies, one of the great. I'm just like, shit, I'm going to have to see this again at some point. And I never did. So I hear it's great. But yeah, my dumb high school mind couldn't follow it at the time.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. That was an amazing freeze frame of you, Doug. You looked so happy for a moment. It was hilarious.
Yes. If you could take 1 second, stretch it out. You just wish you looked better instead of like that.
Honest reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, remember in the Blade 2 review where Rob as Del Toro sorrowfully states his next film is Pinocchio? That joke aged great.
Yeah, I guess he actually made that one. I mean, who would have thought? You know what? That's why, because Del Toro saw it and he wanted to show us. So we have us to thank for that best animated film.
So you're welcome, everyone.
There. So,
JT, thank you for the 100 bits. I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I'm honestly glad to see that movies based on video games are actually starting to be decent these past few years, from both a visual perspective and a story. Are they perfect adaptations? No, but I think we're finally out of the dark ages of bad video game adaptations that was the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, it's looking good, but let's see how the Mario movie goes. It can't be as bad as like the Hoskins one, but it is Illumination. It's not like they've, done the highest of art. And I could easily see it going a little too reference heavy, or just show, hey, you remember that? You remember that? And having like nothing sink in, with the characters and stuff. But I'm hoping that's not the case. At the very least, it's nice to see they got the visual style down. And I think that's going to be fun to see on the big screen. And it's good. I don't know. It's even just seeing the visuals kind of makes you feel like a kid again. You know what I mean? So I am looking forward to that.
Well, I'm worried now with some of the success of some of these video game shows and movies that now it's just going to be like the cool new thing to do. And they're just going to Marvel. Yeah, they're going to make all of these shows and movies based on video games, and they're not. It's going to be just too much, and they're just going to become not good really fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's already a Fallout show in development on Amazon Prime. There's a God of War show in development. There's a show for Horizon Zero Dawn in development. There's a movie for Ghost of Tsushima. Like, all of these properties now are getting movie and TV show adaptations that honestly don't necessarily need them. I don't know.
At the same time, with something like Last of Us, people see what makes it so good is that they are following the game very closely, but they're also adding on top of that. They're having like little change. They're expanding the world and stuff like that. So I'm hoping the people making these are keeping note of that and saying, "Gotcha. Okay, got to remember that." I haven't seen the Warcraft movie, but everyone says if you're a fan of Warcraft, you'll love the movie. If you've never played Warcraft, it's awful. Yeah. And I feel like you want to avoid that too. You don't want something that is 100% only, just for the people that played the game, because in that case, just play the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's a good balance in there that I'm glad more and more films and shows are finding, but I see what you're saying. There is that cautionary. All right, slow down, everybody.
Yeah. Irish DC, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you watched a movie based on history and were surprised if you went back to see if any of it was true? For example, a lot of lines from 300 are real quotes from Spartans, but put into their original context actually come out better.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, some true stories I know are completely false, and I still like them. I like Braveheart, complete fiction, but I still really like it. With that said, I like when a movie can follow what really happened and not have to change up that much, and that's like, interesting enough. My brother used to watch Gettysburg all the time, and one of the things that I would always say when watching a movie is based on history or true story. When I was a little kid, I would say, did that really happen? Did that really happen? My dad would say, well, no, this happened. And Rob would say, well, actually, it was done this way. I remember with Gettysburg, there's a lot of, yeah, no, that's what really happened. Yeah, no, he really said that. Yeah, this is how it went down. And it did make the story so much more interesting because of that. So I forgot what the actual question to the...
It was basically like if you ever watched a movie or something based in history and then went back to look up to be like, wait, did that actually happen? Kind of a thing. Or looked up more information about it.
Yeah, Tombstone. I did that as well. I couldn't wait to find out what the real story was. A lot of it was pretty close, which was really cool. So yeah, no, I think that's a real fun thing. I think it's cooler when you look back at the history and the movie helps you pull you in more rather than figure out, oh, that was just mostly made up. Like, it actually pulls more story from history, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Rank these Scorsese movies from best to worst. The Irishman, Casino, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, Irishman, Casino. Casino being the lowest. And I do like Casino. When that came out, it got a lot of mixed reviews. And everyone's like, oh, it's just a parody of Scorsese now and stuff like that. And they're kind of right, but I love it. I really love it.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 100 bits. Leica Animation Studios is coming out with a new movie called Wildwood. I think it's based on a book. I'm excited to see a new Leica film. I read that it's coming out in April this year, but not sure about the date.
It's so funny you said that. I just saw a documentary. Will Vinton, if you don't know who that is, that's the guy. Speaking of M&Ms, he actually did design the M&Ms, the peanut and the red one. But he's the guy who did claymation. Like Claymation Christmas, California Raisins, and stuff like that. I just watched a documentary. I didn't know this. So apparently he needed some extra... I'm clip noting a lot here. Yeah. He needed some extra money, so he made a deal with the guy who owned Nike because his son was working for them. And then he didn't look over the paperwork very well, and he accidentally signed over a thing that said he can be kicked out anytime he wants. So that's what they did. They kicked him out of the company, handed it over to his son, and that guy turned it into Leica. The son was just somebody who loved stop motion. He loved animation and stuff like that. And he loved Will Vinton. And something happened where there was bad blood and they kicked Will Vinton out. And he put his son in charge. And it's one of those things where you want to go, boo. And I still kind of do. But at the same time, they made Leica. What the only stop motion, movie company right now. So it's hard to be boo at the same time. So it's a fascinating story if anyone wants to look it up.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Your favorite Lonely Island song? Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like I'm on a boat, on the ground. Is Dick in the Box Lonely Island
That's
too?
right. Okay. I was going to say,
I just had sex. Thank you, Wayflow.
I love, I think the first one I heard, the Chronicles of Narnia one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one.
What calls it
Narnia? That's right, I forgot about that.
Crazy delicious.
Oh man.
I don't know. I just never heard a rap song. I mean, now they're everywhere. You know, they've been everywhere for a while, but I just never heard a song like that. Just talking about doing nothing but acting like it's so badass, and that the main chorus was Chronicle of Narnia, and that it's getting me to laugh right now. Yeah. And again, I'm sure if you did it today, you'd just be like, "Oh, it's cute, whatever." But like back then, that was just the first time we saw humor like that in quite that way.
Yeah, man, chat. Yeah, this is like a mid-2000s memory bomb. I forgot about Jack Sparrow. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. God, I forgot about some of these. I totally forgot about
Sunday.
Lazy Sunday. Yeah, totally forgot about the Chronicles of Narnia. My God. Dang. Anyway, crazy. KP Kruk, thank you for the 100 bits. Would you consider reviewing The Last Temptation of Christ? It's a Scorsese film with Willem Dafoe as Jesus struggling with temptations and if he saved himself from being crucified. I know it was reviewed upon Friar Review and they tore it apart. And speaking of that, it would be cool if you did a crossover review with them.
I mean, I did The Passion with Brad. I think that's good enough. I mean, maybe I have to see it again. I saw it in, I think, high school and college. I didn't get into it. I didn't have a problem with the idea. I thought the idea was cool. But the way they did it, I thought was so odd and even like cartoonish at times. And I couldn't really get into it. But maybe I have to see it again. I don't know, something about the ending with like the little fiery devil. It's just like, oh, there's no point. You've lost. Yes, there's no point in trying it on. Like Jesus is Willem Dafoe. Jesus is crawling and everything. I'm like, I don't know. It seemed silly to me. But I also haven't seen it in years, so maybe I'll watch it now and be like, holy shit, this has hit me in a totally different way. But I'll say that I'll at least try to watch it again to see if I like it more years later.
So your video froze for a second there? Your audio didn't, but your video froze for a second after you had just hit yourself in the head or something.
Well, again, that's what happens when I make fun of religious film. God's like, fuck you! So, yeah.
That's a Xenerd. Thank you for the 100 bits. Rank these DreamWorks villains from least best to best. Ramses, Death, Lord Shen, and Tai Lung.
I mean, Ramesses gotta be number one. Tai Lung is Kung Fu Panda, right? Hold on.
I imagine.
Well, let me see. Oh, that's not what popped up.
TAI space LUNG.
Okay, yeah, Kung Fu Panda.
From Kung Fu Panda 1 is what
the
CM
first one,
Sony says.
Okay, so he'll be at the bottom. Tai Lung. Ramesses be at the top, then Death, and then the one from Kung Fu Panda.
Lord Shen.
2. Yeah.
There you go. Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. What about Danny DeVito in Twins and Throw Mama from the Train?
Oh, they're both great. Yeah, but if you're asking for personal favorites, the ones I mentioned before are higher than that.
Griffiths, thank you for the 100 bits. Been loving your game streams ever since you started what seemed like years ago now. For someone who's been neck deep in entertainment for as long as you have, it makes me happy to see you tackle the gaming world with the same passion you've shown movies all these years. If there's a game I have to recommend above most, it's Shadow of the Colossus. The game, for me, is still the greatest answer to Zelda that Sony has ever come up with. Show, don't tell is 100% true for this game.
Whew, nicely done. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't think I played that one. Let me double check.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Yeah, I got a lot of these. I'm very visual, so if I look at yes, this isn't the one where you just fight giants the whole time, is it?
I don't know. I own it, but I've never played it.
I might have played this one actually, and not all the way through. Have I played? Yeah, because it's showing nothing but giants. I'm assuming that's the thing. You have to find different ways to like fight giants and everything. So, yeah, I played a little bit of it, and I do really like it.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. One Danny DeVito performance I feel deserves more credit is his role in Dumbo. The movie has problems, but I thought he brought so much energy, comedy, and heart to the character. Very underrated role, in my opinion.
Yeah, and again, I can't say it's a good movie, but I was close, and stuff like that is what pushed it to me. I like the atmosphere, I like the acting, I like the camaraderie with the circus people there and stuff like that. I like sort of the visual storytelling with Dumbo not being able to talk and stuff like that, but it's still not a good story. And the main kids were pretty bad and everything. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that. I like his connection to all the circus, and he's kind of doing almost the same part from Big Fish, but it's like he does it so well that I still love it.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, in your Charlie's Angels review last week, you brought up early on it's supposed to be a movie with characters looking sexy while kicking ass, and that movies like Black Adam and Lara Croft Tomb Raider were decent attempts at that formula, but could you think of any movies like that that actually mastered the formula?
That mastered it? See, and when he asked that, I try to think back to trailers and when they show like all the sexy scenes and stuff like that. I mean, big age difference, but I think was that Zeta Jones, Sean Connery, was it Entrapment? Is that what it was called? I remember both men and women were like, oh, going to that. Just, I think Blade kind of counts. There's a lot of like shirtless stuff in there. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other. I'm sure there are. I'm just blanking on them right now. I don't know. They're out there.
Duddy, thank you for the 100 bits. Speaking of based on a true story movies, I loved how the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's true story didn't happen in Texas. There was no chainsaw, and it was hardly a massacre.
Yeah, there's some. I feel like it took me a while to really grasp this. With horror films, I feel like it almost means something completely different. It's almost like the Fargo disclaimer at the beginning of the show and the movie saying this is a true story. Like now it's just almost like a running joke. Whenever it says a true story, it's like, no, it's not. Like it's really not. Like if it's a horror film, that just gives them liberty to kind of do whatever they want. And you could say it's distasteful, but I feel like everybody going in just knows it by now, knows that's kind of the setup. So I don't know. It's odd, but you are right. It's pretty false.
Logan, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen the movie Claws on Netflix?
Claws, Netflix.
The K, yeah, you have the animated one. Claws with a K.
It's with a K.
Yeah.
So my wife watched a movie about these people do like money laundering and stuff. It's at like a nail salon, and it's called Claws, like with a C.
Oh!
So that's what came in my head. I'm just like,
no, the Christmas one,
the Santa Claus one. Yeah. Yes, I love it. It's really, really good. And from the setup of the story and the characters, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but it's very well done.
Kenton Plays Stuff, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Happy Wednesday to you both. If there was ever a Nostalgia Critic you ever wanted to redo in any of the past Nostalgia Critic reviews in your modern style, what review would you want to remake?
I mean, probably a lot of the really early stuff, like Mario Brothers and the Ninja Turtles movie and stuff like that. Because back then it was such a different style, and I feel like I can go into more detail about a lot of that. And there was like a time limit back then too. Yeah, like maybe Street Fighter, like, those early, like, 10 or so episodes, maybe. Yeah, probably those.
CM Sully, thank you for the 100 bits. If you had the ability to manipulate time and have both Vincent Price and Tim Curry in a movie together, what type of movie would you make?
It'd be a rom-com, clearly. They would just have to, share a house together, and they'd have to figure out how we gonna get along and everything, but then, like, a talking cat works its way into the picture. I don't know. no idea.
No, keep going, Doug. Keep going. I need to hear the Tim Curry / Vincent Price fanfic.
And then it turns out that the cat was really like Cupid, trying to get his wings because he was doing such a good job matching people up. And he accidentally shot arrows at these two. And they're like, they don't belong together. But then like when he talks to him, he finds out they really get along and they like honestly fall in love and it's magical and beautiful. But then Vincent Price is so old that he's dying. And then like the cat Cupid is trying to like make a deal with like, the Cupid god. And he can't though, because these are the rules. These are rules, an old man is dying and everything. But then Tim Curry is like, take me too, so we can always be together.
Yes!
And so Cat Cupid gets like his arrow and he aims it at him and he shoots it into his heart. It actually kills him, but it's also like cementing their hearts together and they both go to heaven together and they play poker.
Wow, that you really took that and ran with it when I was like, no, keep going.
Wait, keep going. I'm like, oh, don't tempt me, man. I'll keep going.
See, I'm Sully. Thank you for the 100 bits. If you had the ability to manipulate time... Oh, I just read that, sorry. Irish DC, thank you for the 100 bits. I always like the private joke that Joe Pesci kills Frank Vincent in Goodfellas, then they swap it over in Casino.
That's kind of a good point. Yeah, never thought about that.
Brand Omega, thank you so much for the 11-month subscription. Welcome back. Appreciate it. And they just say, hey, guys. Hi. Excuse me. Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Excuse me. Last bits of the night, you mentioned previously that you're looking to review The Little Mermaid with the hopes of getting Philo Barnhart back to offer more animation knowledge / trivia. Do you have a set period when you'd expect to have it recorded and released?
I'm assuming around the time when the new movie comes out. Was that May, I think? So, yeah, sometime around then.
Irish DC, thank you for the 100 bits. What about stop remaking popular stuff and remake stuff that did poorly but had great concepts behind them?
That's what I'm about. I'll say this. Some of the reboots and remakes of the past, like, decade or so, they have breathed new, interesting life into. So I can't entirely say, oh, just stop it. Don't fix what's, not broken. Because new things can be done that's like, oh, I never saw it from this point of view. That's kind of cool. But my guess is they're kind of the outliers. It's like, I don't know, there's more Mulan remakes than like Into the Spider-Verse, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I can't just say, to all that, because, some phenomenal movies and shows have come out of that. So I tend to agree with you. I like to see stuff that, wasn't done that well, given another chance. But even then, they kind of are. Like, isn't that Percy Jackson show getting made and everything? Yeah. Isn't it supposed to, like, stick to the books a lot more and stuff like that? So I'd love to see more of that. I'd love to see that with, like, Black Cauldron and stuff like that. Like, movies that were, not done that great and redone but stick more to the source material. Golden Compass is another one, or Dark Materials, I should say. Everyone says the show is really good and a lot better than the movie. So yeah, I don't know, in a sense I feel like they're kind of doing that.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. Lonely Island's Jack Sparrow with Michael Bolton is the right answer.
I did like that one. That was pretty funny.
Brand Omega, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, so have you seen Megan yet? Will you review it this Nostalgiaween or something? I thought it was very funny.
I just did an Untitled review show for it, and I might do an NC on it. I could probably get some good stuff. I did like it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's aware of what it is, and it's having fun with it. It does not overstay its welcome. When it stopped, I was like, oh, all right, man, that was quick. But yeah, I did have a good time with it.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What did you think of Ed Helms as Captain Underpants? I'm not gonna lie, it might be my favorite performance of his. I thought he was hilariously believable, switching back and forth between the mean-spirited Krupp and his cheerful alter ego.
Yeah, I was, and everybody told me I would be surprised. I didn't believe him, but I was surprised how much I liked that movie. That was really fun. Kind of took me back to that silly age of childhood and those kind of jokes, but it was also really fast and energetic and colorful and good animation and everything, but like a simple animation style too, but it mixed in with that 3D world. It surprisingly worked. So yeah, all of it I thought worked. I thought he worked too.
JT, thank you for the 100 bits. I don't if you both have heard the news, but Tom and Jerry has gotten a completely new and different adaptation over in Japan that is overly cute and chibi, and it's going over really well over there. Your thoughts?
I think I heard about that. Let me see. Tom and Jerry chibi. I shouldn't say chibi. I should just put
new anime or something? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks very, very chibi or kawaii makeover, as they say. I haven't seen it. Can it really be worse than like the Willy Wonka adaptation? I don't know. It's like I'm kind of now looking forward to seeing whatever weird adaptation Japan does with something, particularly if it's like a hit cartoon show, because it's so different and again kind of breathes new life into it. Even if it doesn't work, it'll not work in the most spectacular ways. So yeah, I'm usually down for weird Japan adaptations.
Mm-hmm. Kenton Play Stuff, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I asked this before, but I didn't get an official answer when I brought up the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you said you didn't like it. How dare you, by the way? It was that in quotations was what got me, and then they said, just kidding, love you. But it was just that I could see that was great comedic timing there, Kenton. But is it possible there could be a Thanksgiving month for November to talk about various Thanksgiving specials and movies?
It'd be in between Nostalgiaween and month of Christmas in there, and then we should do the commercial special in around Thanksgiving. So probably not. Also, I love Thanksgiving the day. You know what I mean? Like getting together with family and eating the food and stuff like that. In terms of the all the media around it and stuff, which you could argue, what media? There's not much. I don't know if I don't have a passion for it. Like I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I can't think of any other Thanksgiving media where I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for that. You know what I mean? So probably not. But yeah, if you love that, I get it. And there's a lot of great Thanksgiving stuff out there, but nothing that like really grabs me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What did you think of the new SNL with Aubrey Plaza?
Honestly, the writing this season's not grabbing me. Like, it's not the worst, but I feel like the sketches just kind of stop. They're doing that thing like they did in the 90s where they'll kind of take one joke and just run with it forever. Except now they don't even have that big a payoff at the end. I don't know. It's not doing much for me. I'm always gonna have a soft spot for the news anchors. Those two together, I think, have great chemistry. But yeah, I don't know. It's the season's not doing much for me.
The only thing I saw was her bringing back Leslie Knope.
That's cool. It's cool seeing them. But did you watch it? But like even that didn't have an ending. It's like, oh, where's it going? Where's it going? And then it stops. Like for some reason they don't have endings to these. Oh, and then I did see the one nice thing about is that even if the sketches aren't that funny, it's always kind of cool when you find someone that has like good comedic timing. Like Megan Thee Stallion, really fucking funny. Like, I didn't know she was that funny. Like, there's a lot of sketches where I'm like, this isn't written that great, but man, she is selling it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so every once in a while it gives a chance to show off like somebody else's comedic skills, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just the writing. Like, the actors are all good and everything. It's just the writing's not really winning me over.
Irish DC, thank you for the 100 bits. No question, just a last donation for the night. Good night and have a good one.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Irish. Grand Omega, thank you for the 100 bits. Will this Stephen King movie please be Sometimes They Come Back? I didn't notice any tropes unless it's in Maine.
I don't know if I saw that one. I'll try and check it out.
All right, cool. And actually, we are done with bit messages.
Oh my God, holy
I know,
shit.
20
Okay.
minutes early today. I mean, chat is lighting up with highlights, so I think people are ready to have some questions still answered. But yeah. Elite Gamer says, hello, Doug, Heather, and the star of the show, Chaplin. So 2 game recommendations for you, Doug. Lego Skywalker Saga and Detroit Become Human. Also, what are your thoughts on the new law that movie studios can't put fake scenes in trailers anymore? Thanks for the amazing videos. You guys always make me laugh.
I didn't know that was a law. That's interesting.
I didn't know it was a law either. Are we sure it's a law?
I don't know what to think of that because I think back to like the Alfred Hitchcock trailer for Psycho where he didn't show any footage from the movie. And that's like one of the great trailers, in my opinion, because of that. But at the same time, yeah, there's a lot of false advertising. They'll just make up clips for movies that aren't the film at all. So I don't know. I'm torn on that. In terms of the other part, I was thinking about maybe doing like a Lego Star Wars game because I never played one before, and I guess those are pretty popular games. So maybe somewhere down the line I'll do that.
Matt Gamer says, just wondering if you'd be interested in playing EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 story mode this year. I know it's very short, but just to see you play an FPS game would be fun. Maybe for May the 4th month?
So we're definitely going to do the second Fallen Order game. And yeah, like I said, well, now it's either Battlefront or Lego Star Wars. It's got to be one of them. So yeah, we'll see if maybe we want to get another Star Wars game in there. That's another one I've always heard about.
Yeah. Lord R. Wolfen says, using my powers to read minds, I could reveal what everyone is thinking. Doug's thoughts. How much money should I take from Rob's paycheck next week? Chaplain thoughts. I like having nothing to think about. Heather's thoughts. Meow, 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 meow.
You sure you didn't mix up one of them? Clearly, Heather's the one thinking about taking money from Rob's paycheck.
Clearly. I know a guy says, do you think you could review the Mario movie with Scott the Woz, Brad, Black Nerd, and Nerd?
Just get them all together. Yep, they got
what a
nothing
review.
Going on. Yeah, they got nothing going on. Let's just get them all together. Probably not.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, Doug. Could we have a hint for which Adam Sandler movie you're planning to review coming up?
It is, I'm pretty sure I did on the top 11 good Adam Sandler movies, but it is on the lower side of the list. It's probably the lowest would be my guess. I can't remember the list, but it's in there.
Master Mario says, how do we know you're the real Doug Walker? Personally, I think you're a fake, an imposter. You might have the rest fooled, but not me. You don't have glasses and hair. I think the real Doug Walker is locked in a basement. Only the real Doug can answer this. I once gave you an idea for a review about 5 years ago. What was it? Hint. It's a Christmas movie.
I know this because I remember that nobody's ever given me a Christmas movie to review. I think it's actually called A Christmas Movie. God, I hope that's actually a movie. Hold on. Christmas movie. Is there something actually called a Christmas movie?
There has to be.
Aha, A Christmas Movie Christmas. It counts. I got it. That was it. Haha, I remember. I'm the real thing. Thank God. I thought I wasn't the real thing for a minute.
Spike, thank you for the 100 bits. I would love for you to play Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, we were originally going to talk about doing that when the remake came out, but now the remake is paused indefinitely, so...
Oh, indefinitely? Okay, yep. Holy smokes. Yep. I heard it was delayed. I didn't know it was just paused. Okay.
Yep, yeah, they were not happy with what they had seen, so Lucasfilm basically was not happy with what they'd seen so far, and so they might give the project to a different studio, they might, I don't know, it's all paused indefinitely.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Strider, we talked about that too, yeah.
Yes, we have. Strider for Life, thank you for the 100 bits. There's a side-scrolling beat-em-up game called River City Girls. You might like it. The dialogue's pretty funny. I think Lucas may have played that. I think it was on our Xbox for a little while.
Looks like fun. It's like a little bit of an anime style to it. Yeah. No, I mean, I love side-scrollers, so yeah, maybe we'll take a look at it.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. They brought the game show lingo back. Thoughts?
It's just called lingo? Is that what?
The game show lingo.
Oh, here, okay. I don't even think I know this game. RuPaul, I mean, it's always great, but I don't even think I'm aware of the original lingo. So, yeah, I'll try to watch it. Yeah, because I am totally not aware of that.
JT, thank you for the 100 bits. So I got one more bit drop for tonight. It's been many years now, but have you reconsidered doing a review of Matilda? I remember years ago you mentioned you were worried about potential backlash for reviewing it for the NC, but I'm sure it'd go over great with everyone now, especially if Mara Wilson herself is game for a brief cameo or something.
You know, I watched it again years ago, and I actually really liked it. I did not see what the film was trying to do, and then I put it on years later. I said, "Ah, shit, everybody's right. Fuck." I hate when I have to admit I'm wrong about something like that, but yeah, no, everybody was right about it. It was really great. The musical's even better. The one they put on Netflix, it was
Yeah.
really, really fantastic. And I don't know. I don't know what I could say about it that everybody else hasn't said, you know what I mean? Because all the
Yeah.
things I like about it now are what everybody likes. So I can't really think of any like new angle. At first, I thought maybe doing the angle of someone who at first didn't like it and then changed and sort of saying why it changed and stuff like that. But it's all the reasons why it changed was just me being a doofus and not seeing like what it was trying to do. I feel like I could sum up like in a minute why I didn't like it originally, and then the rest of the review would be me saying why it's good and would match what everybody says why it's good. So I don't think I can add anything new to it. So probably not.
Kenton Play Stuff, thank you for the 100 bits. I can't remember if you've ever said you were going to review one of the Sonic movies, so if you do decide to review one of them, which would it be? Sonic 1 to show the same buddy road trip movie formula, or Sonic 2 to show how to do a video game movie right?
I mean, honestly, probably 2, because I did have more fun with it. I'd have more of a. I passionately like that movie more than I dislike the first one, if that makes sense. Because I didn't hate the first one. I thought it was just kind of meh and underwhelming and stuff like that. Where the second one I thought was legit really fun. So I would probably do that. But again, if I ever did do the Sonic movies, I want to wait till they're like all out so I can look them over, in order. Because now I'm really curious to see what they do with 3. Are they gonna like finally go to like a fantasy world? Are they really going to do something really imaginative and keep going with it? Or are they going to keep it in the real world? Like, I'm curious, and I feel like I shouldn't talk about those movies as a whole until at the very least a third one comes out.
Alex loves musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. Would you consider doing a review for the new Matilda, or maybe a new versus old of the 90s movie and the new one?
I mean, it would be interesting. Old versus news are trickier to do now that I'm older, because it isn't something we just go in order in the film. You have to go and like really find the clips and examples and stuff like that, which it's not hard to do. It's just time consuming. As I get older, it is just harder to dedicate more and more time when you're doing everything in it. So we'll see though, because I do really like them both, and that might be a fun angle. We'll see.
Maji Dude says, last week Doug asked what other things Spider-Gwen was in. She's in the Secret Warrior cartoon specials on Disney+. Yeah, I think it's less of what she was in and more of you wanted to say that she should have her own show, right?
Yeah, that's more what I was going for.
Secret Warrior cartoon specials on Disney+.
Oh, it's this Marvel Rising Secret Warrior. Okay. Cool. No, I was just saying in general, just her own show. I mean, maybe because I haven't read the comic. Spider-Verse honestly introduced me to so many characters. I'm just like, shit, I wish I read this comic growing up. Like, this looks awesome. Again, Spider-Noir, I would love to have read that. Spider-Gwen, I would love to have read. And Miles Morales as well. So, yeah, it's just something where I'm like, I know I'm not going to have time to seek out all these comics and read them and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool just to see like a show on these, just following one, just following her, one just following Spider Noir, one just following Miles and stuff. Like, I think that'd be really cool.
Honest reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Why did Avatar take so long? Producer, why can't we just CG the water again? Cameron, because it doesn't look real enough. Producer, what do you expect us to do? Mocap the water? Cameron, yes, make it so. Producer, but that'll take us more than 10 years. Cameron, make it so!
Oh, great. Where's the script? Yeah, we'll work on that later.
CM Sully, thank you for the 100 bits. Speaking of old versus new, would you at least do an editorial on why the Omen remake didn't work while the OG did?
There was an Omen remake. So this is that's another movie I should give a chance to, because I remember watching it and I didn't get into it. I think because I had a real snobby phase when it came to horror films because I was like, well, if it doesn't scare me, it's not working. I didn't think of all the various types and ways you can do horror and stuff like that. And to me, Omen was way too over the top. But now I feel like that might be fun.
Okay.
Looking back, like even just that decapitation of David Warner in that scene, his head literally flips like this, and it looks so silly. But now I feel like looking back, that might kind of be fun. And the music, the Jesus Domino, all of it was so over the top. But now I'm thinking this could actually be a pretty good time. So I do want to go back and watch it again with that mindset and just be like, okay, you know what? Just turn your brain off, have fun. This is a goofy horror film. And my guess is I'll probably enjoy it. So in terms of the remake, like I said, I forgot it even came out. I think most people probably forgot it came out. So unless it's like horrendously bad and there's a lot of stuff you can say, my guess is I probably won't do that.
Kenton Play Stuff, thank you for the 100 bits. I'll make this my last bit message for the night. Do you have any big hopes for the next Spider-Man game, hopefully coming this year? Obviously, we're getting Kraven and Venom, but I would honestly like to see Norman become the Green Goblin and maybe other villains like Chameleon.
Yeah, you know, I like that they kind of dealt with villains you didn't know. You know, you don't see as much in like the movies and stuff like that. So I'm down for that. Maybe work because she was more of a side mission thing. Maybe work Black Cat more into the story because I feel like there's a lot of stuff you could do with that in a game.
Yeah.
Like just a level where you fight her, I think would be fun. You know, she can like climb the walls and that. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. Yeah, Venom will be pretty cool to fight. Yeah, honestly, the first one was so good. I'm digging Miles Morales. I'm just like, I'll just go wherever they want to go, man. My guess would be, since they built him up in the last one, that they are gonna do Goblin, but they might do him as like a secret reveal villain kind of thing. Like they'll save him to the end. Like then he'll come out. He'll be like, I guess I can't say it, but in Fallen Order, the character that comes out at the end. Like I feel like they do it like that with Green Goblin. So, but I'm just guessing. This is just all speculation.
Ramirez says, what's your favorite Batman movie? Mine is Return of the Joker.
I think it's still just Batman. The Batman was pretty damn good, and Dark Knight's pretty great. There's
Gosh darn it, Doug.
There's too many good ones. Mask of the Phantasm's fantastic. So I mean, I think it's still the original Batman, and then and probably Dark Knight's close after it.
Power Gamer says, so Doug has Garbage Pail, okay, let me start this over. So Doug has Garbage Pail Kids, Rob has Mamma Mia, Heather has the B Movie. What are the rest of the Channel Awesome crew's most hated movies? Tamara and Malcolm are too chill to ever hate a movie. Malcolm would get high for a bad movie and not think it's bad. Tamara can't hate anything. She just can't.
No, you know what? There was one.
Okay.
That, no, actually two. There's two movies that I recall her actually saying, these are bad.
All
and
right.
she's like, you know me, I don't dislike it. One of them was Halloween Kills. She said, like, that was bad.
Okay.
That was really bad. And then the other, when we were reviewing it, she said, like, I think she said it was like the first movie she saw where she actively said it was bad. That was the second Princess Diaries. She was just like, no, I just remember watching it, like, actively being like, I think I hate this. I think I don't like this. So I'm sure it's ours, but those are at least two that I remember her verbalizing saying these are not good.
Honest Reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Black Cat in the Spider-Man game. Well, she played a big part in the City Never Sleeps DLC, but we skipped it this year.
Oh, okay, so she was part of the DLC. But, like, the main game, get her in that, you know, like, you're fighting a villain, and then, like, halfway through, like, she comes in and helps you fight the villain. You know, like, really work her into the story, you know, kind of thing. I think that'd be fun.
Game Fan says, hey Doug, thoughts on Rick and Morty continuing without Justin Roiland? And do you think Velma is garbage?
I mean, controversial thought. I don't like Velma. I mean, for the same reasons everybody else, you know, doesn't. You know, it's funny because I remember Roiland did Morty. I forgot he also did Rick. So, because I was saying Morty, I feel like you could replace it. Rick will be a little trickier. But I don't know. There's actors they've replaced that I feel like if you didn't tell me they replaced, I never would have noticed. There was an actress in Big Mouth that they switched out, and I wasn't even convinced they did it yet because they switched her out so well. And she's an actress I like too. She's from The Bear. She's really, really good. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I mean, it's always a shame when it goes. It's weird in a strange way. I feel like almost the more iconic the character, the longer the character's been around, the worse the replacement half the time. Like I never feel like they quite got Mickey right or Donald right, but then like Goofy's amazing. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to see. I'm glad the show's still going because I do love that show, and I do think it's gotten big enough and good enough that it's kind of worked even beyond like one of the creators. You know what I mean? Like it has taken on enough of a life of its own that can survive without him. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how they do that going forward with the voices.
My controversial opinion is that they should just end Rick and Morty because Dan Harmon is also not the best human in the world either. So, like, you know what? Maybe it just shouldn't be Rick and Morty anymore. I don't know.
The show's so good. You haven't even seen the show, though, have you?
I haven't. You're right. I'm not attached to the show in any way, shape, or form. So I'm like, burn it to the ground.
It's one of the few shows where whenever it's like, oh, we're taking our hiatus, oh, we got away, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the few where I'm like, take your time. Because the writing and the animation is just so good and so clever and so funny. Where, yeah, I'm like, I'm glad it's still going, but yeah, I'd be lying if I said didn't see where you're coming from too. Where it's like, but I hope like people are still good, you know, like everything's still okay behind the scenes and everything.
Marco says, "Have you seen the new Scream 6 trailer?"
Yeah, I'm not a huge Scream guy. They're fine. I never got that into them. So anytime people are like, what do you think? You think it's going to go a brand new direction? They're going to surprise it with it? I've never been surprised by anything in Scream. Like, not once. But they do exactly what they're promising. They do them fine. They do them well. I can't complain. So it's like, I'll see it. I'm sure I'll have a fine time. But I can never recall a Scream movie where I was just like, whoa! I never said wow at a Scream movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know a guy said, do you think you could review either Hoodwinked 2, Hood vs. Evil, or Freebirds? Both are hilariously terrible early 2010s animated movies.
Freebirds I do have on for things. It's funny, we were just talking about how I don't do Thanksgiving movies, but I do have Freebirds on the list for Thanksgiving. So I will do that one. A lot of people said Hoodwinked 2 is really bad. And I think the numbers on the first one did okay. So maybe I'll get around to that one.
Gigabuster says, would you consider doing a month of Clint Eastwood movies?
What ones? He's done so many. Like, what ones would I even do? I don't know what I could say about a lot of them. Again, that, like, just everybody else hasn't already said, whether they're, you know, good or bad. And they're usually pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I like them, but I don't think I could bring anything new to them.
I know a guy says, do you think you'll review Mamma Mia? Here we go again. It's a million light years better than the first one.
That's what I hear. I hear people say it's actually pretty good. And I still haven't seen it. I guess I'm not in a rush, but you know what? I should give it a chance because there is a morbid curiosity that's like, well, how did they do it? What they replaced Meryl Streep with Cher? That's not that big an upgrade. But everyone says it's surprisingly pretty decent. So I'll try to check it out at some point.
Matt Gamer says, by the way, I love your shirt, Doug. We've had a lot of compliments on your tacos or everything.
Oh, shirt. Yes, thank you. Now that they're on hiatus again, I guess, the Doom Patrol. So, but that's another one where I'm like, I'll wait. Again, the writing and everything is always really good in that show, so I'll wait for it.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Hoodwinked 2 has a very interesting voice cast. It has Cheech and Chong, Brad Garrett, Joan Cusack, and Wayne Newton, and somehow it was still boring.
I was gonna say, I mean, those are fun people. Yeah, I heard it's really bad, so I'll probably get around to it.
All right, cool, and that does bring us to 8 o'clock. So thank you all so much for joining us here today. As usual, we appreciate it. Sorry, I am currently checking to see if Tamra is online or not. I don't know if she is streaming this evening, so I'm just doing
show Chaplin
check
so we can see
really fast. Oh, sorry, Chaplin. Gavin, thank you for the 100 bits. We'll do this one really fast. I was excited to see your review of Ice Age because it's my favorite movie, and while I was sad you didn't like it, I respect your opinion.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it, that it was your favorite movie, man. So yeah, don't listen to me. Like what you like.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to this guy. Yep. Who's this guy? All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We super appreciate it, as always. We do have content here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So come on back tomorrow. Tamara will be live. I don't remember what did she start last week? She started something last week. Pray. She started Pray last week. And on Friday, Doug will be back to Miles Morales. Yeah. I'm still just trying to check for Tamara. I'm sorry. Just do a quick.
Just checking.
Just really drawing this out and checking if Tamara's live.
Sentences, not doing something else at all. This is just naturally how I talk words. This is how it goes.
This is natural. You know what? I'm just going to put in the raid command, and if she's there, she's there, and if she's not, she's not. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's just do it. Because she did just get back, so she... All right. She's not live, but, you know, we'll see. All right,
let's rate her anyway.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will see y'all later.
Bye-bye. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.